Hi people, good morning. I know I keep getting asked what was said to me, so I think it's time that I explain my experiences. But to do that, I'm going to have to go back 6 years, because without context, you sort of won't understand the journey. So I'm going to explain exactly what happened as best I can, but I'm going to keep it simple because it can be very confusing. I don't quite know how to explain the situations myself, because in some of the experiences there's not earthly words to describe what happened, so I find it a little bit difficult. But going back 6 years, it all started 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I had an experience. I was laid on my bed. I don't know what happened. I was watching that chapter, Mikey. I loved him, by the way. I was watching that, and at the same time I was sort of thinking about food, and I was thinking about standing up and going and shouting at my son. And then all of a sudden those three things were just on repeat on my head, and it was as if I was watching them on a screen. Everything sort of went colourful and small, and I sort of went into my head. It's weird to explain, but I was watching them on a repeat, constantly on a repeat. But there was no differentiation from me watching something to thinking it to the feeling of going to sit up to speak to my son. There was no difference. It was like I was watching it on a screen. And when it kept repeating those three things over, just on repeat, I panicked. And as soon as I panicked, I don't know where I went, but my consciousness, not my body, my consciousness just went poof somewhere else, and it was sucked into somewhere else, and I was flying through what I can only describe as like an electrical field, and I mean zooming through it, bright, like a bright neon light. It was like that type of brightness, and I was zooming through it, and I just started saying, is this what it's all about? Is this what it's all about? And something was speaking back to me, but without speaking. It was just in my head saying yes, but I had to know myself, I had to understand myself, and I freaked out. I started screaming. I just got frightened. You've got to understand, at this point, God didn't even enter my head. Even as that was happening, God didn't even enter my head. That's how much I didn't believe in God. And as soon as I started screaming and panicking, all of a sudden I was back in my bedroom on the repeat again, but I was still in my head on the repeat.